All right, in this video, I just want to talk about a few things. The few things I want to talk about is we all, or most of us, try to help others. It's the human kindness that we all have, but we all don't use it. Some of us at times use it too much. To the point where it actually is, it may be helping the other person, but at the same time, it's hurting yourself. And when you hurt yourself, regardless how kind you are trying to be, you're damaging yourself. And when you do that, you're not able to help that person to the maximum capacity that you're capable of. You have to learn to know when to say when. When is it enough? When is it getting to the point where it's causing more harm than good for yourself? Sometimes you have to step back and take a breather and gather things back to where you can help yourself. You can help others by showing them what needs to be done to make their life better. You can keep telling them until you're blue in the face. But it's up to the individual that you're talking to and trying to help. If they take no initiative to change their ways of do things that will make their life better for themselves, it don't matter how long or how much you talk to them, they will never have a better life, and that's their choice. They can keep saying they want a better life. They want better things in their life. They act sincere that what you're saying, and and they act as if they actually going to follow your advice, but they never do. You can go for months, years, and they just keep doing the same thing over and over. You can help everyone some of the time, but you can never help everyone all the time. And you have to know the difference and realize the difference so you won't be damaging yourself. And that is not just for someone that you're trying to help, maybe financially or emotionally or anything. It can be related to even work. Put in overtime. You're supposed to work 9 to 5. You work till 6, 7 o'clock every day, just trying to please your boss. It may be helping your boss and their company, but it's taking a wear and tear on yourself because you're not getting enough sleep. It's tearing your relationship, your marriage, or whatever apart at home because you're never there. By the time you you get there, They already had supper and all. If you got kids, you may get up real early in the morning and they're still in bed and you're heading to work, so you don't get to see them then. Work all day. And by the time you get off work, working overtime, you get there to the house, everybody's eating supper. Kids are maybe already in bed, 8, 9 o'clock. So you don't get to see your kids except maybe on Saturday or Sunday, if you're not trying to put in them extra hours on them days too. It's not a life to have. You have to prioritize what is important in your own life. What's the purpose of having a marriage, kids, if you never get to see them, never spend time with them? Yes, I know you're supposed to be the breadwinner. You're supposed to supply and provide. But there's a limit to that. A lot of people say, no, I got to do whatever I got to do to provide. That's true, but you don't have to kill yourself by doing it. If what you're doing is not accomplishing the tasks of providing without killing you, and it's killing not just you physically, it's your relationship and your kids, your family. What's the purpose? What's the purpose of getting married? What's the purpose of having kids? Why not just be single and just work yourself to death? You have to take time out to appreciate the wonderful things you have in life. You may work, 2 or 3 weeks solid, but you got to take that time out and just to learn to say no. As I've said many times on my channel here, you have to take me time, or there may not be you for long. You have to appreciate what you have while you still have it. Spend the weekend. Don't work overtime for a whole week. Be home for supper every night. Take your kids out and your wife, girlfriend to a nice restaurant. Just get away from everything. Just like I'm doing. Back in 2012, I decided, after all the BS I had to go through, which you can read in my book here. Yeah, back in 2012, I decided to set myself free from all the chaos and the BS that I saw online. And as the months go by, at that time, I saw it getting worse and worse. And I plundered in my mind for a week or two if I really wanted to disconnect myself from social media. I mean, I had Twitter, Instagram, I had Facebook, I had at least about like 8 or 9 besides YouTube that I was actually constantly, each and every day, scrolling through. And I plundered and I thought, and I plundered and I thought over and over and over. What am I gaining from this? And more I thought about it, more I came to the conclusion of absolutely nothing. It's wasting my time. It's garbage. Things that pops up in your feed, things that should not be there, not filtered whatsoever. It's just so much hate and people being disrespectful. Now, of course, you can find that on YouTube as well if you search for it. But YouTube is more of a search engine than a social media platform. You can filter out what you don't want to see. Now, Facebook, there was at that time there was really no way to filter it out. What showed up showed up. But on YouTube, they got it to the point you can filter out what you don't want to see. And they got real good at it. Somebody that I've been subscribed to for, God, it's been over 5 years. And their content showed up on the main page. And I started testing of how good their system is. So I said, I'm not interested. Don't show me this page. Even though I'm subscribed to it, but I said, don't show me this page. It kept me subscribed, but all their content never got in front of me unless I went to their page. So it worked. And I figured out a way to get their content actually to show back up. And then it started populating a few of their shorts and some of their long length videos as it used to before I told it not to show it to me. So it's very good filtration system they have. Like I said, it's more of a search engine. People want to learn something. They search and actually see a video. And just like you go to Google, if you search for something, usually there's a YouTube video pops up in the search, and you click on it, sends you to YouTube and watch it. So pretty much they kind of work hand to hand, YouTube and Google search. Both of them are really a search engine. One's text and one's video interaction. As I say, you have to learn to say no. And I have to take that advice myself. Same as, like, for example, in the internet, the WISP industry that I do as a hobby, I had to learn, which it took me a while to restrain myself and actually do it. Because the kind of person I am, I'm real kind. I try to help everybody I can. It's hard for me to say no because I look at it as if I was in their shoes and somebody told me they can't help me and how hurtful that would be. It took me a while to come to realization that I may need help, but not everybody will be able to help me. So I had to look at it at that perspective. They need help, but I have to look at it as I may not be the one that they need to help them. I can help everybody some of the time, but I have to realize I can't help everybody all the time. Sometimes it's not my place. It's not a situation that I need to be involved in. And on this, in the same aspect, I have to learn to say no so I can say yes to myself. when I started doing the hobby of providing internet for places that the big companies would not go, I just said yes to everybody. Yeah, I can get you internet. I can get this for you. I can do it this way. I can do, and that was taking all my time. Almost every week of the whole year, I had no time to do anything myself. I couldn't travel. I couldn't feel that I can go out to eat with my kids without someone texting me about internet, to have internet installed, or the internet is not working properly. I decided I can't live that way. It's the same situation I had about when I was in heating and air. I always trying to help everyone that called. But I come to realize real quick that that's not possible and have a life of my own. I couldn't just wake up and do nothing but for everybody else and not for myself. So I had to go back to the mentality of and reality of I got to take care of myself. I got to have a life. People might not like it. They may get upset. They may fuss and cuss and whatever. But I have to look at it. I got to protect myself. And that's what I decided to do. We all have to do it, or we're going to run ourselves into the ground and not have a life of our own. So I purchased stuff to go camping, the tent and air mattress and all the other stuff. I built a solar system in my car to have that little luxury that I have here at home or at my RV, be able to cook and stuff, watch movies, have internet. I've already disconnected from other people because I'm not available. The number that I have for the internet is Google Voice. So if they text me or they call and leave a message, I'll never know it because it don't ring or give me notification on my phone. I turn that part off in the app. I actually have to unlock my phone, open up Google Voice, and see if there's a voicemail or a text. Well, when I'm on vacation, trips and all, I don't open up the app. And I've had a few say, well, I texted you 5 days ago. I never got a response. That's because I'm out in the woods with a campfire eating my steak. I got to have a life of my own. I can't be at beck and call for all nothing but internet 24/7, 365, 366 on a leap year, and not have a life of my own. So after I'd done this for a few years, I started in 2020 and here it is 2025. I started in 2025, decided in 2025 that June, July, and August is when I dedicate myself not going any trips, any vacations, and dedicate my time for the internet. Because I noticed in 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24, them 3 months, I saw a big spike in them 3 months when people move from one RV to another RV spot. People sell their RV. People move in their RV for the summertime. That's when the peak of, in my situation, in my area, is when people show up to be at their RV for summer relaxation trips and whatnot. So I decided in 2025, that's the months that I'm not going to do anything. June, July, and August. That's when they start showing up, and that's when they start leaving. All the other months, if I'm here, then yeah, I'm available. But if I want to take a trip like this month on Halloween, I've already booked for the weekend to go camping. Again, for the third time. I've gone more trips this year than I have in the last 3 years. All basically almost in the same month. I've taken more trips in the last 45 days than I have in the last 3 years because I decided to take my own advice and saying no. And it feels real good. Being out there, it made, on the first one I went to, it was pouring down rain. But sitting in that tent and listen to that rain, it's so relaxing. When a rainy day is more relaxing than a day at home and listen to the text and phone and everything else and trying to help everybody else, there's nothing like it. Able to tell people no so you can say yes to yourself is so rewarding and so relaxing. You can have your own life. But when you got people in your life, regardless of what the situation is, that you can try to help them day in, day out, day in, day out, year in, year out, and they just don't take what you say at heart and not take action on what you tell them, what's the point? If you get married, but you work all the time, sun up, sun down, and sometimes you get there before the sun's up and come home after the sun is down. Now I'm home for supper. What's the point? If you're going to do that for, next 20, 30 years, what's the point? That's not a life. Might as well be single. You may have a wife, may have a girlfriend, may have kids, but if you never see them, what's the purpose of having them? That's not a life. At least not a enjoyable one. Regardless how much you like what you're doing, that's not a life. You're tearing yourself down, and at the end, you're going to look back and regret that you didn't take time. As the saying is, sometimes you got to stop and smell the roses. Well, as much as you're working, the roses don't even have time to grow. And believe me, time flies by. I mean, here I am going camping and everything, and I can remember the last time I went camping before I got my equipment to go. It was when I still lived at home back in the 80s. And that seems just maybe, a few years ago. I can remember it as if it was just 5 or 6 years ago. But it's been 40 years ago. I remember when I graduated. I remember when I got my first car. And it just seems like it's, less than 10 years ago. I remember the first job I had back in, I can't remember exactly what year it was, but I remember working at Bojangles being a biscuit maker. That's when a no, see, an 8-piece chicken with 4 biscuits was $4.99. What is it now? It's unbelievable. I think it was last time I checked, it was $12, $13, if not more. $4.99 for 8 pieces of chicken and 4 biscuits. I can't tell you how many times I brought that for myself when I was working before I got married, just to have something to eat and save money. $4.99. Not that way anymore. Even the dollar store don't even have things for dollar anymore. I'm surprised they hadn't changed their name because it's not a dollar store anymore. Remember, remember being living at home, my mom and dad, and sometimes before I get on the school bus, I go out there and pick up the newspaper that's in a plastic bag and bring it in so my dad can have it. Things have changed. The social media, no more really having. I don't know if there's any places that does give out newspapers anymore. Like the paper boy rides around on the bicycle and throws out the paper. The ad pack. Social media's replaced it. And then back then we had cassette players, the Walkman, the CD player as a Walkman. Had 8-track and cassette, then CDs, DVDs, Blu-ray. I got at least 300 blank DVDs and CDs in one of my rooms here in the studio that I used to use of putting things on it, like little videos or stuff, programs to help people with it when I ran a computer repair store. Download free programs and put on CDs for them so they can actually use it when they buy or upgrade or get their the computer repaired or whatever. But CDs and DVDs, it's a thing in the past. Now it's all apps you have on your TV or your phone or your tablets. Hulu, Netflix. There's no physical disc or anything like that you actually use. The world has changed in a very short period of time. Yes, it's been 40 years, but them years has gone by fast. Next year I'll be 60. I don't feel it. A lot of people say I don't look it. But the reality is, next year I'll be 60. Life goes by real fast. Don't get yourself caught into 10 or 15 years from now and you're like, man, all the BS time I wasted on this and got nowhere when I could been doing something else. Why did I hang around with these people or this person for so freaking long that just held me back and wasted my years that I can done something else and been more successful for myself? With all the BS, with all the stress that they gave you, That's not a life. No, life is not going to always be easy, but life is what you make it. You got to learn to know when to say no so you can say yes to yourself. Life is not going to be easy, believe me. You can be doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. And yet, at a blink of an eye, things can go south that you would never believe that it would happen to you because I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. But yet, even myself, I can testify to that firsthand. I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing, and then yet, this came about. If you hadn't already, consider getting the book and read it. It's not a real big book. It's only 130, 40 pages, I think. It's been a while since I put it together and all. But it's written to the point where it highlights the BS that I had to go through. You will see how life can be turned upside down, even if you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. And if you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing and things get turned upside down, why do so many people let others willingly let others turn their life upside down and not saying no? Cut them people out of your life. Things can go wrong even when you're doing everything right. So why let people turn your life upside down when you have control of kicking them to the curb? I do believe you put in the today's terms, go pile sand, kick them to the curb, disconnect from them completely. I've had people that I've known for decades that were in my contacts in my phone. And I picked up the phone every time they called because their name came up. I cut them out of my life. I took them out of my contacts because I will not answer the phone unless a name comes up on the display. And it has to be somebody that's in my contacts. And if it's that person or them persons that I have removed from my contacts, if they do call and I don't pick up, they will have to leave a message to let me know who it is because I'm not trying to memorize their phone numbers. And they have to leave a good reason in their message for me to call them back. I've had people text me that I refuse to respond to them. Because my life will be less enjoyable if I communicate with that person. Life can be turned upside down. Like I said, even when you're doing everything right. And I got proof right here. Why voluntarily Let people turn your life upside down when all you have to do is say no. Cut them out of your life. This I couldn't cut out of my life. It was just going to happen. But I had to stand strong for what was right to get to the other side. And then I decided this is a good opportunity to write a book to show others that don't matter how good you run in your life, it can still be turned upside down because of negligence of others. So when you have no control over what's going on, that's one thing. But when you have control over the chaos, the stress, nonsense, BS, unnecessary in your life, and all you have to do is say no. Simple. Say no to it and control it. This I couldn't control. It was just going to take its steps of whichever way it was going to go. I had no control over it. I just had to sit back and let it take its course. But when you have people that is causing chaos day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, and they just seem not to understand and take what you say at heart, but still at the same time they complain that their life is turned upside down. But you've been telling them for days, weeks, months, years how to fix it. Perhaps because you've been there, done that before, of what they've gone through, you've already gone through it. And you know what works and what don't work. But they are not willing to take the steps to make their life better. This, you just have to stick it through and let it run its course. But you have to stand your ground. And I did, and that's why I'm here where I am now. You need to learn to say no to people. It might be your high school friend that you've known ever since high school. Somebody that you knew since you were 7 or 8 years old. It does not matter how long you've known the person. Even if it's a family member, it doesn't matter. If they making your life miserable, giving you stress, make you have sleepless nights, chaos, nothing but BS, cut them loose. I don't care who it is. It may be blood related, but it's your life. You get to choose what your life is going to be. Well, I don't like my life. Well, change it. You got that choice. 99% of the time. The other 1%, it's just going to happen. But you can still get through it. Don't matter what you're going through, somebody else has already been there, done that, and got to the other side. If you want to get to the other side, bad enough, you'll make it. Learn to say no. So you can look yourself in the mirror and say yes more to yourself. And that's what I'm doing. And it is so wonderful to be able to come and go as I want. I've said yes to people enough years when I doing heating and air. Just working. But I was home for supper every day. Life is what you're willing to make it as to. If you're not willing to make a good life, then you're not going to have one. I've got a list of things that I need to do about the internet, but I'm not going to start until I get all the equipment, and it's supposed to be, I think, in a day from now. It's supposed to be here. I had one person say, well, I've been without internet for 2 weeks. They haven't got internet yet. Been waiting for internet for 2 weeks. Well, I've been camping for 2 weeks. And as I told you, I will get to you when I get back and I have the equipment. Simple. Had to say no. I got to have a life of my own. And I got other people that some of them just don't want to understand that I can't be there just because they need me to be there whenever. I got to have a life. And I'm taking control of my life, and I'm going to have a good life. I've had people in the past that, well, if you don't get here this weekend, I'm not going to get the internet. Great. Means less I got to do with the internet, more I can travel and go camping. So either way I win. I tell them no, I go camping. They don't get internet, I go camping. See how that works? They may be mad, they may tell others, but usually I found that people they talk to understand that I have to have a life of my own. And they understand that. Because I've had people say, well, John over there told me they're not getting internet because you couldn't install it the weekend that they were here. And at the same time, in the same breath, they said, well, that's just on him because we understand you got to have a life. You can't just do this, 24/7. You're retired. This is a hobby. And they say, well, some people just not going to understand that. I said, well, that's just less people I have to worry about. They may be getting the biggest package, say $55 a month. But I'll lose that $55 just to get rid of the headache that they started even before they even got service. If they're willing to be a pain in the posterior before they get service, what are they going to be like when they do get service? They're going to be texting and calling you all the time. I don't want that. I didn't care less than $55 they would be paying a month. I don't need it. I don't need any of it. So it's no skin off my back, as they say. I got a life to live, and I'm going to make it as best as possible, as enjoyable as possible, relaxing as possible, that I can. And it's up to me to do that, because I have to say no when it's necessary. I want to thank each and every one that has stopped by and watched this video. Maybe you can relate to what I've said in this video. Maybe you got a few people in your life that you need to start telling them no, regardless who it may be, brother, sister, mom, dad, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever it may be, or work. Tell them that you're not going to work, past so many hours. I've had that before. I've had places that I worked in my early years when I just getting out of high school that they made a schedule and I knew I had to work Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And then when I came in on Friday, lo and behold, I looked at the schedule. I was scheduled for Saturday. I've already made plans for Saturday back on Monday because I knew I had Saturday off. And I told him, I said, have a good weekend. I'll see you Monday. Oh, you're scheduled for Saturday. I was like, just because I'm scheduled and you wait the last minute to put up there, I'm not coming in on Saturday. Well, when you come in Monday, you might not have a job. Great. Then I'll have Monday through Saturday off. Then I can do what I want all week. That's not just threaten me of my job just because I won't beck and call and be there on Saturday because you waited till Friday afternoon to put me on the schedule. That don't work with me. I was looking for a job when I got here. I'll be looking for one when I leave. I take control of my life. Nobody else does. And I came in Monday and they didn't say nothing. And lo and behold, guess what? I was never scheduled for a Saturday again. They thought they can threaten me of me losing my job that would make me come in on Saturday. That didn't work. They saw that I was not going to back down and be threatened just because they needed somebody. And come find out what it was is two people that were scheduled for Saturday. Originally, when the schedule was made on Sunday, decided they were not able to show up. And they were just trying to take me and put in the place without even asking. Nope, not going to work. I didn't show up on Saturday, and I was never, ever scheduled for Saturday again. You got to take control of your life. Your life is what you decide to make it as, not what everybody else decides what your life should be. You're the one that's going to have to live it, not them. They can work you, 50 hours, 60 hours a week. You think they're going to work overtime? No, while you're still working, they're home with their kids and their wife or her husband eating dinner while you're still working. They really care less about if you're able to go home to your family. Take control of your life, learn to say no, and have a better life. It's simple as that. You just got to have the guts to do it. If you don't, everybody else is going to control your life. And then when it's all over, when you get older, you'll have nothing to show for it except stress, health problems. Even to the point that your wife may learn to say no and tell you goodbye because you're never home. Say no before people that's important in your life tell you no. Something to think about.